Hi, I'm Andrew and welcome to Audio Trends. Today we're going to show you how to set up your ProJect Debut Carbon Turntable. I've already unpacked it and you'll find these things in the box when you unpack it. You've got your platter that's separate, belt, anti-skate weight and counterweight. The counterweight's in a bit of packaging in the bottom underneath the turntable, so don't throw that out. You've got your interconnect leads and the power supply. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is put the belt on. Just put that over the platter and then stretch it out over the motor pulley. The motor pulley's got two sizes. The small one's for 33 RPM and the larger size is for playing 45 RPM. I'm going to put it back on 33 and gently place the outer platter on. And there are two things we need to do, and that's set the tracking force for our stylus and put on the anti-skate weight, and then you're set. The great thing about the Debut Carbon is the cartridge already comes fitted and aligned, so there's no real setup you need to do there. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the stylus cover, and I'll pick up the counterweight. You can see that it's in two parts, the main body of the counterweight and a free spinning indicator dial on the front. So first off, we push the counterweight all the way onto the back of the arm, and what we're going to try and achieve now is to neutralize the arm, that is make it horizontal so it's not flying up in the air and not falling down. And we do that by lifting it out of its rest, lowering the rest, and then just spinning the counterweight back slowly until we get to a point where the arm's not down and not flying up in the air like that. That's too far. Just wind it forward a little bit. And if you get down level with the arm, you'll be able to see it's pretty level with the playing surface of the record, and it's just floating in that neutral position. When we've got to that position, let's place it back in the rest. Without moving the main counterweight, we just want to spin that little dial on top so that the zero actually lines up with the line on top of the arm. Once we've got it in that state, we wind the whole counterweight in to create our tracking force. Number 5 equals half a gram, 10 equals 1 gram, 15 equals 1.5 gram, and we want it to about 1.75 to 1.8 gram. And that's it, that's all you've got to do. Remember to take the stylus cover off because that will affect the weight on the front of the arm. The next thing we're going to do is put the anti-skate weight on. This will help counteract that momentum of pulling the arm in towards the record while it's playing. And stop it skating across the record. It's got a little loop on the end of the fishing line here, and there's 3 notches in the top of the arm on this little peg. We're just going to put it on the middle of the 3 notches, and that's the correct anti-skate setting for the amount of downward tracking force that we've got applied. About even, about 1.5 to 1.75 gram. Last couple of things you need to do is plug in your output leads to the RCA terminals on the back of the record player, and attach the ground wire to the little screw terminal there. It's a little bit tricky in this position. There we go. And the other end will go into a phono input on your amplifier, which has a pre-amplified input. So the output of a cartridge is much lower than that of a CD or a tuner or a tape deck. So it needs to go into a phono input to actually increase that level to a line level that your amplifier can then handle. If your amplifier doesn't have a phono input on it, then you can buy a number of outboard phono stages that we carry here at Audio Trends from brands such as ProJect, Riga, NAD. And this would then plug into the phono stage, and the output of the phono stage could then plug into any input on your amplifier, be it auxiliary, CD or tuner. The version of Carbon that we've got here is actually what they call a phono USB, and it has that phono stage built into it. So we can actually now plug this straight into CD, auxiliary or tuner. It doesn't matter, you don't have to have phono in your amplifier. The phono stage is built in here. And the other advantage of this unit is that the phono USB version has a USB on it, so you can transfer your vinyl to your computer if you want to. Then it's just a matter of grabbing the power supply, plugging that into the DC input on the back of the turntable, and you're up and away. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of Audio Trends TV. Happy listening.